The stream is live.
Young Bucks, old goats. What's up, bum?
What's happening out there?
It's been a while, dude. It's been a minute. We were just talking about it. It's been a while. We're back out of here, and the big news of the week is R.I.P. Ozzy Osbourne, Malcolm Jamal Warner, the Hulkster brother, and remind me.
Chuck Mangione?
Chuck Mangione. That's all in the same week, right?
All the same week, I believe. Yes, sir. Yep.
That's a big one.
Yeah. I can't recall that many in a week.
We're always on multiple group chats, and everybody always advises when one of these happens. Yeah, and it was a busy week for that.
Yeah, I don't remember so many in 1 week.
No, that's a lot, and big ones too.
Yeah.
I don't know a lot about the jazz guy. Tell me about the jazz guy.
I was a young pup actually when his most famous song was an instrumental called "Feels Good" or "Feels So Good." I remember because all my cousins and my sister, who were older than me, were listening to that, and it was on the radio. It kind of like left the jazz world and kind of broke into the Y100s and the regular, pop channels.
Is this
Or
in the
pop radio
80s?
stations. No, it's like 77, 78.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
I
I
was
think
in
he
my
had
Pampers.
yeah, you were in your Pampers. I think he also had a couple of commercials too. Back in the day, early 80s, late 70s. He was very distinctive look. He had kind of longish hair, a hat, and always with a trumpet.
And he was in bands with Blakely, right? Art Blakely?
He's known obviously as a single kind of entity, but yeah, he was in a lot of bands, a lot of jazz bands, and he was 84.
Okay, that was probably, though not probably, definitely the oldest of all the people that we're talking about here.
Yes,
Because I believe the Hulkster was 71.
Yes.
Malcolm Jamal Warner's probably the most tragic. Yeah, because he's
54, I think.
Yeah, young. Now we say young. Back in the day, that was like, old as shit. Now that we're old, that sounds young.
Yeah.
Freaking Rip Current, dude.
Yeah. But do you remember when we went to Costa Rica?
Mm-hmm.
The open water is kind of rough there, and it's also very, it's known for surfing.
Oh yeah. Well, that place we stayed in,
Pacific.
it was kind of like a bay where we stayed.
Yes.
Remember? But I did go to like some of the other beaches, and yeah, it looked like it could get pretty dicey out there.
Yeah. I mean, the Pacific in general is usually, pretty rough. I mean,
mm-hmm.
So yeah,
Even here, we have them here too.
No, we have rip currents are anywhere there's water, but like I remember when I went to Hawaii, that famous North Beach, man, that I remember when we were driving there, the guy telling everybody how bad it is and how many people have died there, and you're not supposed to just go in there like a casual swim. It's for professionals.
Yeah, I my mail lady the other day came and she told me a story about her coworker's husband, that the two kids here in in the Atlantic out here, I think Hollywood or something like that. The kids got taken away and he went in to try to rescue them, and he died for sure. I don't remember if they were able to rescue one or both of the kids or not, but dude, the water's so dangerous, dude. I have respect.
Yeah, Mother Nature, man, can't play around.
Yeah.
Oh, and there's been a ton of shark attacks too.
Recently,
Yeah,
well, we'll bookmark that for later because we could talk about Jaws a little bit. 50th anniversary
yeah.
going on. They're going to be releasing in theaters. My son just went to see Jurassic Park or whatever whatever the name of it is, the one with what's
The
her name?
current one.
The current one with
Yeah.
Scarlett Johansson.
Mm,
Um, if and they had a preview for it for Jaws, which I think
wow.
is going to be next month. They're going to be doing.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, we like Jaws around here, so
Yeah, we
we
do
can
too.
talk about that later. But yeah, I remember him. Obviously, I grew up watching the Cosby Show a lot, so that I know he did a lot of other stuff. And you mentioned earlier, also a jazz musician, right?
Yeah, he plays bass, and I think he's a trumpeter, and he was in a band that I think won a Grammy.
Wow.
And if you go on YouTube, there's granted it is jazz, so it's not for everybody, but um, you know some pretty good stuff
I
out
like
there.
jazz, dude.
But there's kind of like different jazz. Do you like jazz that's just typically like an instrumental, or do you like jazz that also that has a woman or somebody singing?
I
Because
typically gravitate towards no lyrics.
yes, see that's why I bring that up, because a lot of people that like jazz like more the instrumentals than they do when somebody's singing jazz.
Yeah, because that almost takes on I don't want to say a different genre, but it's like a different thing within
It
the.
it's different,
Yeah.
definitely. Yeah. And I saw a couple clips where he was in the band he was in, there was a lady singing, and that takes some getting used to. Not everybody likes that.
Mm-hmm.
Um I even find some of it not, you know, doesn't always appeal to me, but
Right.
from a musician's perspective, I mean, the band sounded, really good.
Wow, didn't know that about him. I know he had a lot of other acting credits too. After, I think he was on some sort of hospital show or something like that.
Yeah. Not that I watched it, but when I started to look at, some of his I guess accolades or biographies, I did see that. But then again, I see that everybody is always either in a hospital show or one of those Chicago Fire,
CSI
LAPD, CSI.
somewhere.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's like half the programming on any network. CSI
Yeah.
Miami, CSI Los Angeles, CSI New York,
Yeah.
CSI,
And then there's all these Chicago,
LAPD.
yeah, Chicago PD, Chicago Fire, Chicago this.
General Hospital. No, that's old, but whatever.
Yeah,
Something
it's
tragedy. Oh, like people dying. But all those shows at the end, everything gets resolved. You notice that?
yes, and there's usually a lot of screwing.
This guy, I don't remember it right now, but
Love
Gladwell,
interest.
Is it Norman Gladwell? Malcolm Gladwell.
Malcolm Glad.
He said the shows were either a northern, a western, an eastern, or a southern, and one of those four was those CSI shows, which like something happens, there's a bad guy, they go, they investigate, and at the end of the show, boom, it gets resolved every episode. And he seemed to say that women like these shows more than men for whatever reason. I don't remember.
My wife watches a ton of them. I mean, look, I'm not stupid either. I've seen some of those shows. Again, I see a love interest. It's people sacking up. A little soft porn in there.
Blue Bloods, that's another one.
Yes, actually,
With
that's not too bad though. I've
Moynihan is
seen
in that one.
Yeah, and uh, Tom Selleck,
Tom's
the
Brady.
guy from the guy from the is
Magnum
it the Backstreet
PI.
Boys?
The what?
The guy from is it the Backstreet Boys?
Oh,
or
Wahlberg, right?
Insane? Yeah.
New Kids on the Block.
Okay, neither one. Got it.
Not the Backdoor Boys. No, dude.
He's married to a hot woman, that's for sure.
I'm sure he is, dude.
Jenny McCarthy.
But he's Donnie, not Mark.
Donnie.
Right.
Yes. Yeah.
It's fucking Boston guys.
Yeah. But yeah, those shows, they got a bunch of young, hot people. There's tragedy, and then there's like a lot of banging going on. So yeah, I get it.
Like LL Cool J's in one of those, right?
Used to be. I don't know. There's so many, and
Ice-T is in like one of those.
Yeah. Both, right?
Both those guys.
Well, both Cubes, both Ice. Isn't there an Ice Cube and an Ice-T?
Yeah, but I don't think Ice Cube's in one of those.
I thought he was.
I know Ice-T is. Anyways,
definitely.
But R.I.P. Malcolm Jamal Warner. He was a cool guy on television during that time because he was kind of like, at least for me, you were watching TV and he was like a guy like that was your age on the show,
Yes.
And like, he a lot of the things that you were experiencing, like school and girls and like trying to impress girls and stuff like that. There's a famous show with the shirt. I saw a lot of people wrote articles about that where he wanted to get the shirt to impress a girl, and it was like they invented the name of the designer. I don't remember what the name is that they gave it, and it was like a $90 shirt, and his dad refused to let him wear it, so he like took it away, and then his sister offered to she said she could sew the shirt for like $30, make it for him, and then when she makes it, it's like one big short sleeve and one super long sleeve, and it's just like it's a mess,
a disaster.
Yeah, which was apparent. I don't remember watching the episode, but apparently it was very memorable. I don't know. He didn't go on to remember they did A Different World after that.
That was with the girl with his sister.
She was definitely in it. What's her name? Lisa Bonet.
She
Bonet?
Yes.
Yeah. She was.
I think did she get thrown off the show when she did Angel Heart? I think so.
Why? Because she was nude in that or something?
Oh, I mean that movie was pretty.
Is that De Niro?
Yes.
Oh wow.
And Mickey Rourke.
Uh-huh. And whose chick is she in that movie?
Well, that's the whole thing. It's kind of like it's really taboo because it's a young girl. She's probably older than what she looks, but she looks younger. She does like a ton of, provocative sexual scenes, and there's also some, uh, I guess, ritualistic.
In the summertime, we wore mink
Yeah,
helmets.
it was it was pretty outlandish for that time.
Outlandish. He made
Yes,
outlandish claims. Because De
it,
Niro's the devil, right? In that movie,
yes.
I remember him with the
I just
egg.
ruined it for anybody who hasn't watched it.
Yeah, I mean, this fucking
Yeah,
statute of limitations is over on that
yeah,
by now. I remember that scene with him and the egg and his long ass nails, and he's opening the
yeah,
egg and shit.
yeah.
I've never seen that. I
It's a
might
good
have,
movie.
yeah. Well, from what you're saying, she was married to Jason Momoa for a while.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
Like they just got divorced not too long ago.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I mean, he must have been watching her on the Cosby Show because she's way older than him. I have to imagine.
But she's always looked younger than what she is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, she has girlish looks,
Yes,
like
and kind of a
petite.
petite
Yes,
frame.
like this little girl, Ariana Grande, not so grande.
I'd like to also take time to once again say that I am the only bum not in the Epstein files.
Well, we don't know. The list has not come out yet. You're making a big deal out of this, so you're putting a target on your back here.
I'm really hoping I'm not. Yeah, so that was the youngest guy
We'll
that
circle
passed
back
away
to
this week.
the Epstein files
Yeah.
also. Yeah, and then of course the Prince of Darkness, right?
Ozzy Osbourne.
I I was never really into that music a lot when I was young. Obviously later, I got to appreciate it more. Um, I
Yeah, I
just
grew up with that stuff. That was like in my perfect wheelhouse at the time. Yeah, I always mention that I only saw him once, but I saw him with Motley Crue and Rat, which was awesome.
this had to be the '80s, obviously.
It was 84.
Oh
Yeah,
wow,
at the
good old days.
Hollywood Sportatorium. Yeah.
His shit was not super hard though, right?
Well, that's like in the eye of the beholder, as they say. I wouldn't say it was hard. Um, I thought Black Sabbath was a little harder than the stuff he did by himself.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Um, when I heard about uh, him passing, I started to look at some stuff again, and man, I I started to see what a great band they had with Randy Rhoads, man. Randy Rhoads. Now it all comes back to me how there used to be these endless conversations about who's better guitarist, Eddie Van Halen or Randy Rhoads. Dude, Randy Rhoads was really good, man.
And Randy Rhoads later went on to
Randy Rhoads did not do much after. Well, he started with Quiet Riot. Him and Rudy Sarzo, who was the bass player of Quiet Riot, when Ozzy got kicked out of Black Sabbath, Ozzy started to make a band. He made it with some guys originally. Then those guys broke up, and eventually he got Randy Rhoads and Rudy Sarzo from Quiet Riot. When they were touring, and they made like 2 albums in about a year and a half, and while they were touring for the second album, which was Diary of a Madman, Randy Rhoads died, and he died in a plane accident where one of the tour guys was like a pilot, and they stopped at this roadside place, and like he commandeered like a little private airplane, and he took up some of the guys, and they started to try to buzz the tour buses. And actually, Ozzy was in the tour bus, and some of the other guys sleeping, and the plane clipped one of the buses and flipped over several times and fell into a mansion that was nearby and blew up and caught fire, and everybody on the plane died, including Randy Rhoads.
Jesus Christ, dude. I didn't know that
Yeah.
one. I know the Metallica one with the bassist. That was also
Yeah.
a tour bus incident. What was his
But
name? Remember that guy's name?
on Metallica,
Yeah.
I know who you're talking about.
Yeah,
I
the
picture
original,
his face right now.
very long hair,
Yes.
mustache,
He was good too.
not Mustaine, not Hammett, not Hetfield.
He was the bass player, right?
The original, I believe he was the original bass player. Oh my god, it's on the tip of my tongue. Okay.
I'm picturing his face, and I can't think of his name. We need Tank and his quick lookup.
Cliff Burton.
That sounds right. Yes.
Yeah. Cliff Burton. R.I.P.
Yeah, he died in 86.
Yeah. I believe they were in Europe or something on tour, if I'm not mistaken.
What did he die of?
The tour bus, I believe, flipped over.
Oh, the bus overturned and he was thrown from the vehicle. Wow.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Yeah. There you go. R.I.P. Cliff Burton. Also.
Yeah. And you know what's another shocker that I started to listen to some of Ozzy's music, and I came across Mr. Crowley. Have you ever heard that song?
I mean, I don't recognize it by the name, but probably.
Okay. Well, there's a lot to that, but remember I had told you that Milton and I wanted to watch that Black Sabbath memorial thing, and we ended up not. I don't know. I think we got. I don't know what happened that day. And maybe you remember.
It's probably drinking involved.
I saw a replay of Ozzy doing that song, originally.
Uh-huh.
But for that tribute concert, they had Jack Black do that song with a bunch of those young guys, like young kids from, that kind of schoolhouse rock thing that he does.
School of Rock.
Yes.
Okay.
Dude, and it was pretty fucking badass, man. I was shocked. And everybody else, it's all over YouTube. Everybody's stunned. Actually, at first, everybody thought it was a lip sync. But then people actually realized that you could actually understand Jack Black and that his lyrics were much clearer than Ozzy, and it wasn't a lip sync. But they did a really good job of doing that song. Really great. Of course, the guitar, really good, but not like Randy Rhoads. Randy Rhoads, I think, has like 2 separate guitar solos in that song.
Yeah, Jack Black's like a real musician, too.
But he sang. And he sang the song, and basically he was dressed like Ozzy, which was kind of funny because he's kind of chubby, and his belly kept coming out of his shirt. But
hey,
he did a heck of a jog.
I've been there before.
Yeah, we all have. Maybe still am.
Yeah.
But
that's why I put the
really great job. Really good job in
Yeah,
that
it's almost like
song.
he did that, and okay, that's it. I can die now.
Yeah, pretty much, man.
I mean, that was like an all-star cast there, right? For that thing.
Yeah, yeah.
Who was there? Do you remember some of the names of the?
Metallica was there. Tool was there. Obviously, Black Sabbath. Um, and then they had Guns N' Roses. Um, there were more people. Those are obviously the key ones I remember.
And I remember him a lot personally from that show.
I never saw the show.
Yeah, the show was kind of funny, but it was always him. He looked like he was stoned out of his ass, or just like
What I
like
what I didn't realize is that is before the Kardashians.
mm-hmm.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
So his show is really one of the first, I guess, of that family real
Mm-hmm.
time kind of look. I didn't realize that. I thought it
Following
was
the family
actually
around.
later. Yeah, I thought it was actually later.
I think Hulk Hogan, who we're going to talk about soon, had one of those too.
Yes, I believe so.
Yeah, Ozzy, definitely an icon.
Yeah, I saw they had a documentary about his life. This is while he was still living, and his wife telling the stories, you know, of the things to the level that he got to. Like they went to meet all these record executives, and you know, he told his wife he was going to do a strip tease on top of the table, and he got so fucked up that he ended up like peeing in their drinks.
Who hasn't done that
And
before?
right, and then they threatened her saying like, listen, if you ever do this or he does this ever again, we'll destroy you and his career. And it's like he did some serious shit. And another time, the famous story where he brought in doves and he was going to let the doves out, but he grabbed one and he bit the head off.
Oh my god!
I mean, just fucked up shit, man.
But he always said he was not a devil worshiper.
No, he wasn't.
That was just his shtick.
I think that was more, yeah, more shock and awe type thing than it was, you know, devil worshiping.
Yeah, I remember when I was coming up, that was like a big thing. Like, this is devil music, and like,
Oh yeah, it was all of it.
if you play it backwards, there's uh, subliminal messages and
Well, some of that was actually true.
all this.
Whether they did it because they were Satan worshippers or because they thought it would be cool for people to play the record backwards, but that went back all the way to the Beatles.
So they purposely would sing something forwards that if you played backwards, it would say something.
Well, in the case of the Beatles, have you ever heard certain songs? You could tell the way that they say certain words, they say it in a way that if played backwards, it could sound like something else.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of thoughts there, right? There's people who say that they, these bands did it because they were devil worshippers. There's other because, it was something, it became sort of an underground thing that they could do, and it would make people buy records to listen to this shit, and it really meant nothing.
Right.
You know,
another guy that passed away, I think this year, David Lynch, right? Was that this year?
Yes, I think so.
I know you watched a lot of his movies. I don't think you've ever really gotten that much into that show he was most famous for, Twin Peaks.
No, but Nick raves about it.
It's a pretty cool show. It's a little slow, whatever. But there's in that show, trying not to give anything away in case you watch it. There's like something called the Red Room, where it's kind of like a I don't know if it's a dream place or a subconscious place or whatever, but like everything sounds super weird there, and he encounters different characters there, and later I found out that the way that they recorded is they gave the people the lines and they made them read the lines backwards, or they played, I don't remember which way it was, but the things come out forwards, but they make them read the lines backwards, and then
Yeah,
they, so it sounds super weird, but it's basically just them playing or saying the words back or something like that. Anyways, I just thought about that with the backwards playing things.
yeah. So that goes back to the, what the Beatles did supposedly, and a lot of these bands, right?
Hmm.
You remember who was the big crusader against that?
Jimmy
Uh,
Swaggart or one of those fucking guys.
well, sure, but actually, the real big crusader was Tipper Gore.
Mm. She was the
Out,
explicit lyric person too, right?
yeah, she wanted to stop. She actually went into that crusade all the way. I mean, it started with rock, but it ended up with
Hip hop.
rapping,
Yeah.
hip
Yeah.
hop. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. And that's
And she
why he.
eventually got the what is it, like the movie ratings on the records, like
Mhm.
explicit and all that. Like,
Yeah,
he
dude.
helped
That's
do that.
that's the records like we wanted to buy more than anything, dude. Like
Yeah,
we saw that thing and we're like, that we gotta figure out how to get that one, dude.
yeah,
That's, I mean, that was like the cool one, you know. If you could get,
yeah.
like, nobody wanted the clean one, you know,
No,
like that just made it cooler,
yeah.
honestly. If they put
That
that fuck,
increased sales.
that like failed 100%, at least with the youth, you know, because I remember that was like, you know, when you're looking at your CDs or cassettes or whatever, like you had that little box there. Do they even do that anymore? Who knows?
Well, I don't think like the whole CD album thing has pretty much died. By the way, not to venture off too badly here, but
Too
I
late.
saw I saw a great episode. There's this guy on YouTube called Rick Beto. I don't know if you've ever heard of him. He's a music guy. He's a producer. Uh, he's a musician. He's got like 5.5 million followers or whatever. But he has a couple episodes where he talks about how the music industry ended in 1994 as we know it, and how rock died, and all of the all of the things that happened to lead us to where we are now, where he calls the faceless bands and the Taylor Swifts and all that. It's pretty good. I'll have to send you those links. Rick Beto, really
No,
good.
I'll check him out. I haven't heard of him. Um, yeah, now it's feels like there's way. I know it's not true. It's not true at all. There's way more artists now because you could do shit, you know, in a home studio and shit like that. But there's way less that get to you. You know what I mean? Without any effort. Back in that era, a ton of good music would just organically get to you. You wouldn't have to seek it out. It would just, it was on your radio, it was on
Well, but
your
that's
MTV.
yes, and he talks about that, how in 1994 they passed this telecommunications bill that changed the way radio stations were organized, and then big companies started to buy radio stations, and sort of like combine them, and a
Hmm.
lot of little radio stations started to fall off the map, and that was a very key part of how music would get dispersed, to your point, right? A lot of artists were basically, I don't want to say discovered, but heavily played by DJs who liked the music and basically elevated those bands by giving them more airtime,
Mm-hmm.
hence pushing them through. And a
Right.
lot of times it was the DJ and his own taste
Mm-hmm.
that would, promote these artists. And that whole system would then tie into the whole record, later CD.
Mm-hmm.
And by the time they diminished all of the radio stations into these just very big corporate conglomerates, and Napster came about in 1999, that pretty much wrecked the whole music industry.
Yeah, because then it probably just became okay. Some executive saying, "Here's the music we want you to play," instead of like some cool guy that had good taste, showing you some cool ass shit that you probably wouldn't hear. And then that song
Yeah,
becoming popular and people calling in asking for it or whatever. It was more like
exactly.
an
And
agenda of here, push this.
exactly. Because once they got rid of all of those different ways that music could get out, it was only one corporate entity saying, this is the music that you need to push to sell. And what happened, he goes into the discussion of how they got into the whole teeny bopper young girl. They got into the Britney and the
Mm-hmm.
Mandy Moore because they realized that that music attracted throngs of kids,
Mm-hmm.
and those kids would tell their parents to buy that music for them,
Mm-hmm.
and that's what became then the priority for them. This is the sound that you need to get because it generates all of this craziness with the kids and all that, and they focus their music almost strictly on that young demographic.
Yeah, it seems like right now they're pushing like there's it's a fraction of the amount of artists. You know, it's like Taylor Swift, Bad Bunny, The Weekend, a few others. Like it's like there's we have
Well,
so
it's
many other
yeah.
people.
Well, think about it. It's always some type of, if you go back to the Britney Spears time, since that time all the way through, it's some type of Ariana Grande, Miley Cyrus. It's still some young girl, right? Taylor
Hmm.
Swift, and then hip hop
Hmm.
and rappers.
Hmm.
That's basically it.
Hmm.
I mean, not saying that there's no other music that doesn't exist, but
Hmm.
that's where the big money and the push is. There's not
Hmm.
much more.
Yeah.
And he kind of goes into how we got there. And he basically says the pivotal moments are when this 1994 telecommunications bill was passed that changed how radio stations were owned. Then 1999 when Napster came about.
Hmm.
And then by 2012, rock music was completely dead by that time. What I
Right.
didn't realize is that he was telling that that didn't occur in Europe until much later.
Hmm.
They had more rock and varied bands for a longer period than we did. I didn't realize that.
Yeah,
Obviously, I don't live in Europe.
they're big on hip hop now, though, for sure.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that
And he
industry's changed
and he
drastically.
makes he's talking with this other record guy who was in the industry, and he says when you were growing up, these guys are like my, actually they're probably a little older than me, they're probably in their 60s, mid 60s, but when you were growing up in that time you knew every band and all the members of the band.
Hmm.
And this guy talks about come 2000, about 2001 is what he calls the faceless bands, where nobody knew, like you knew the band name but you couldn't tell, you wouldn't know who was in it, who played what. and they started to go through
I
bands.
don't know. I think that's a little early, dude. There was some bands in the turn of the century still.
I think he said like, I don't know if he said 2001 or 2003. Somewhere the range is like from 2003 to 2012. He calls the faceless bands. And
Yeah.
we're not counting about the Rolling Stones or any existing bands. We're talking about new bands of that time,
Okay.
you know?
Yeah. I got you. Yeah. So if there was bands from the 90s that were around in that era and active, but they don't go into that because they were
No.
already
We're
active.
talking about the new bands of that time that, and he mentioned a Third Eye Blind and,
But
uh,
that guy died. Oh no, that's Blind Melon. Sorry.
and he started to name some of those bands. And it's true. Like, I mean, I couldn't tell you who any of, I could tell you all the members of U2. I could tell you all the members of Led Zeppelin. I could tell you, but
How about
once
Blink
you get
182
Blink 182 is another one I think he may have mentioned. Blink 182?
as a faceless band?
No, that's a Travis.
Travis
That's
Barker, yeah.
no, not that one. No. Because by definition, Travis Barker.
Yeah.
No. There was some other. He mentioned Linkin Park, but then the other guy said, "No, I knew two guys in Linkin Park."
Lincoln Park
Um,
was fucking huge, dude.
yeah, well, and there was that whole big disastrous Woodstock thing, but um, I think his point was as those bands of that time, they, nobody knew them and followed them as previous, and by the end or the mid 2000s, forget it,
Yeah, bro, but we're getting off
or
track.
the 2010s. Yeah,
We'll get to the Hulkster in a minute if we're done with Ozzy after this rant. But dude,
sorry.
no, it's all good. That's what we're here for. Um, but if you think about it, isn't almost a lot of the things that we're into sort of like that, be it movies, TV, sports. Like if you tell me 1989 Oakland A's, I'll give you the whole fucking batting order and pitching rotation. If you
I
say
think, yeah.
2009, whatever the best team was in 2009, Yankees, or I don't know, I'm going to struggle because they don't, nothing stays together as long. Nothing has enough time to make an impact. I don't
So
know
I
if they
was
relate,
thinking.
but
So I think what you may be saying is something I was thinking when I was listening to these two old guys talking, because they're maybe 5 or 7 years older than me, and I'm thinking, wait a minute,
they're
is
old.
this just exactly? Isn't this a generational thing?
Back in my
But
day.
isn't this just a back in my day
Yeah.
kind of a generational gap? Isn't it?
I think there is something to that part of it because I do see that in sports. The things I follow the most are sports, movies, not so much, music, not so much. But I think that's their fault, not mine, because I do like good music and I do like good movies. I just don't. I don't think they're like marketing. Even though this year seems like they did like some way better movies with like Superman and Jurassic Park and the Fantastic Four's coming out right now, and there's been a couple others. I feel like I don't want to say movies are back, but like they did better movies. But the music, I don't think is doing like I don't. I don't know. I could be
Yeah,
old.
I have to tell you, I struggle to say which one's fallen off the cliff more for me personally,
Hmm.
movies or music.
Or sports. Let's put all three together.
I think sports for me definitely has not fallen off as much as music and
Well, you know what the beauty is
movies.
about sports? It's it's live, unpredictable entertainment. You never know what you're going to see. Are you going to see it's like a play or whatever, a movie script being written live, and you never know, are you going to see the collapse? If you're a Dolphin fan, you've seen that one. Are you going to see, the
I
young
got the
guy?
subscription to that.
Yeah, for Lifetime.
Yeah.
The young guy come and take over, or the old guy who's washed up come and last hurrah, the underdog beat the heavy favorite, like there's always chaos. That's the beauty about that one. That's probably why that one's fallen off the least. The others are more are scripted, basically. You have to prepare
Yeah.
those and present those. For me, I'm sorry I interrupted you, but for me, real quick, music is the one that just organically has fallen off more.
Yeah, I guess ask yourself this question, I guess. Well, I think I already know the answer, but what have you liked more of that is new? New movies or new music? And I think you're saying there's probably been more new movies that you've liked than new music, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd probably have to say the same thing.
And it's not even close, probably, dude. If I
Well, for
sit
me,
down,
it's barely. For me,
yeah.
it's barely. Yeah. Because to
I don't know if
me,
that speaks to music or to movies.
well, I think both industries have faced basically a hard formulaic kind of way. They're all trying to produce the same money making formula all the time. It's not about individuality anymore, or this. Let me make this movie to shock people. Sounds like you have a little disturbance there.
I have some sort of alert going on.
Yeah. So for me, both seem to try to they're trying to capture the same formula and keep making money off it. With movies, it's franchises, superheroes, and stuff like that, or any kind of franchise. Every movie, they're trying to make a franchise out of it.
Well,
and
that
and in music, it seems it just what we were talking previously. It seems to be that young girl, singing, an up tempo popish song, and that's pretty much it.
yeah, the failure in movie for the consumer, obviously, because for them, they're gonna go with a formula that makes money, but for us as the consumer, the failure is they don't want to take any risks. They want to go with the safe bet. And like when you see that, like, oh, this Disney movie only made $200 million, it's a failure. And you're like, Jesus Christ, dude. For any other, you know, we got great films that didn't make money, back in the day, but they were still a good piece of art. There, nobody's interested in doing, no studio at least is interested in putting out good art. They just want to, give me some star power, give me some, you know, uh, nostalgia or a remake or a continuation or whatever. And, let's make sure we make some money. The, you
Yeah.
know, that's why when, I'll go watch whatever Tarantino puts out because I know it's going to be something different at least. It's going to be
It will be different. Yeah.
it's going to be something different. It's not going to be, even though he says he wants to do some wild, shit. He's talked about the Star Trek and all this shit. They're going to do another part of, or they're going to do like a spin-off from Once Upon a Time in Hollywood with Brad Pitt, I heard.
I heard something about that, but I didn't understand exactly what that would be.
It's like I don't know if it's his prequel story, Cliff Booth.
His backstory of him being a stuntman.
Yeah, and I believe it's going to be starring him, but not directed by Tarantino.
Hmm. Yeah, you see, and everything tries to spawn. Everything's a franchise. Everything is a prequel, a sequel, a relationship.
Yeah, look, it even got to Tarantino.
Yeah. but I guess man, I can't remember the last good movie I saw of a new movie. I'll have to think about that.
All right, we'll put a pin in that. All right, the last big guy, and he was a big guy that passed this week, was the Hulkster brother.
The Hulkster.
I grew up with this guy, but I know you're a little bit older. I throw that in whenever I can. What do
Yes.
you remember about the Hulkster?
Well, remember, when I was getting out of wrestling is kind of when I probably watched 2 years of him.
In
Because
WWE, or do you remember seeing him as well, I think it was WWE, because the Hulkster thing came out in the 80s, but he wrestled for years as just Terry Bollea
Yeah.
and other names. Do you ever remember seeing him before the Hulkster? Because that was definitely before my time, but I know he was out there
I
before.
remember him as Thunder Lips.
Well, a lot of that came out in a lot of the articles that he sort of paved the way for like the Dwayne Rock Johnson and John Cena's of the world by being one of the oh yeah, he was in Japan. What's up, Chad, brother? What's going on, dog? He was big in Japan. That was one thing I remember. He had another I can't remember his name there, but he had another I know Chad's a wrestling guy too. He had like
Was
another
he in
persona.
Was he in the WWF?
Well, Hulkamania, yeah, that was WWF.
Yeah.
But he used to do a lot of Japan tours and stuff too. And he would damn, he had another name over there. I can't remember what it was. Maybe Chad remembers. And then of course, after that whole Hulkamania thing was huge, dude. The guy was like on the cover of Sports Illustrated, and like we didn't really know wrestling was fake. Everybody, kind of suspected it was, but it wasn't out. He was a fucking superstar, dude. And then the whole WrestleManias started, with him in them.
No, I probably got to see him as still an avid fan, probably for the first 2 years of when he hit the scene. And then I did see, Critical, the big sort of showcases like against Andre the Giant and all that, because I would kind of want to peek into that, even though I was already kind of outgrown that. But,
yeah, that was a WrestleMania.
Yeah. But yeah,
he teamed up with Mr. T one time, I think, in a WrestleMania.
Yeah.
There was another big one.
I didn't realize how tall he was.
Oh, he's a big. Yeah, he's
6'7".
Yeah. I think later in life he ended up being much shorter because like a lot of vertebrae were like fucked up or probably removed and shit. But in his prime, he was a big fucking dude. Do you know who he lifted the belt off of for the first time?
He beat the Iron Sheik.
Iron Sheik.
And I know he beat the Iron Sheik, and he beat obviously Andre the Giant, but those are probably two of his biggest matches.
Yeah. He had later like some big matches, like he fought Shawn Michaels one time. He was older already. I think he fought The Rock one time too. But then he had the whole when he turned heel in WCW. Kind of when the Hulkamania thing died down in like the early 90s, I think it was, and they just kind of they didn't have any use for him anymore.
Yeah.
He went over to WCW, and they were doing the whole Monday night. I think this is what kicked off the Monday Night Wars. He did the fins up, bro. The heel turn and became NWO Hulk Hogan, and that I love that shit, dude. When he turned bad, It was so cool, dude.
I also didn't know like they stripped him of his Hall of Fame, and um, I guess he had some accusation of racism and all that. I never knew that. I never knew that he got into any kind of trouble or anything. I always thought he was relatively clean, you know.
No,
But
say your prayers, take your vitamins, brother. But there was like, I think, a video released or a tape released, and he's talking about his daughter and her boyfriend, and it was a person of color, and he said he made some remarks there that got
yeah, I
him.
never knew that.
Yeah,
I
got him in
never
real
knew
hot
that.
water. The weirdest thing, do you remember Bubba the Love Sponge?
That I read only when I was now reading about his life and the whole controversy about the tape and all that.
The Bubba the Love Sponge thing, dude. Because you remember listening to Bubba? I think you were a big AM radio guy too.
Yeah, I remember listening. I wasn't an avid guy of that guy, but I
No, but
remember.
he was just out there, and
Like he filmed his wife having sex with him or
it was
something.
like a cuck thing going on there with the Hulkster, Bubba the Love Sponge's wife, Bubba the Love Sponge having some tapes. I guess he had security, some sort of Epstein tapes or something there. And then I don't know the whole story, but it's just like a whole. They used to be like boys because Bubba the Love Sponge, I think he worked out of Tampa, and the Hulkster was like a Tampa guy. And
Yeah,
after he got out of wrestling, he would come on the show a lot, and he was like a frequent guest. And then that shit went down too. Um, that was weird.
but I think he won that lawsuit against that tape.
I believe he did, and I think they
Yeah,
reinstated him. Odd fact:
they
Ozzy
did
Osbourne.
reinstate him.
Ozzy Osbourne is a WWE Hall of Famer as well.
I did not know that.
Yeah, I don't remember exactly why, but I remember reading that in some of the articles when when he passed.
That I did not know.
As coach of my son's t-ball team, I would say on every breakdown, say your prayers and eat your vitamins, brother. Hell yeah. Chad, jump on, bro, if you're around. I got a link in the bio, dude. Haven't seen you in a while, brother. I know you're a big Macho Man guy. They had a good tag team for one time. I think it was was it the Superpowers, or was that when he tagged up with the the Mega Maniacs? I think it was with Savage. He teamed up one time with the Ultimate Warrior, and I think those were the Superpowers. Another memorable one for me when I was growing up was, do you remember when they used to do Saturday night's main event?
Yes.
Which was not, it was like the odd moment when they wouldn't have a Saturday Night Live, and it would take that time slot. And that was, it was just sick because you got like a pay-per-view on Saturday night, which was like a bonus to your regular. Was it Saturday morning or Sunday morning? I can't even remember anymore. I think it was Saturday
Yeah,
mornings.
it definitely, like, there wasn't too many times Saturday Night Live was not on.
Yes, this was like maybe twice a year. They would do
Yeah.
Saturday night's main event. And the big one I remember was a steel cage match with him and Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff. And obviously it was taped, but it wasn't live, and they probably made it look. But they, the way
The
to win
Mega
one.
Powers.
Yeah, the Mega Powers was that was Hogan and Savage. Yeah, and they were both like fucking huge stars at the time. But the steel cage, you had to walk out of the cage, or you could climb out of the cage, and if you landed first, you'd win. And these two guys, after like a real, pretty long match, were each climbing on one side, and then they timed it just right, so like they both hit the floor. And they even showed you like the instant replay and like, oh, we can't tell the difference. Their feet touch the floor at the same time. It was obviously doctored, because it was
Yeah.
pre-taped. and that was like a big one. And then they had the rematches. I think that was the peak of Paul Orndorff's career, Mr. Wonderful. But yeah, I saw that guy had like a bunch of feuds with a bunch of different guys. But he
I
basically
wouldn't.
was wrestling in my youth.
I would have never thought in a million years that Ric Flair would outlive the Hulkster.
And I don't remember if did they have matches.
I was going to ask that.
Where's Tank when you need him?
I didn't see him. I don't remember ever seeing that.
No, because Flair was an NWA, WCW guy. And I think when Flair went to WWE, WWF, that's when Hogan went over there. And then Flair ended up coming back. Hogan ended up coming back, but I don't know if Flair was. Let's look
Yeah,
that up.
we're not gonna have Tank. Tank has officially called it quits.
He's tanked out.
Tanked out. And I need to reset my router without being disconnected. Hold on.
Take your time. Yes, Hulk Hogan and Ric Flair did indeed wrestle each other in the ring, with their rivalry spanning multiple wrestling promotions and time periods. While they never faced each other at WrestleMania, they had numerous singles matches and tag team encounters throughout the 90s and early 2000s. Their rivalry began in the early 1990s in WWF, now WWE, and continued in WCW with a memorable feud culminating in matches for the WCW World Heavyweight Championship. They had a match planned for WrestleMania 8, but it never materialized. They had several singles matches, with their only televised singles match being in WWE on May 13th, 2002 on Monday Night Raw. They also teamed up together on occasion, with one notable match being an episode of TNA Impact 2010, where Hogan teamed with Abyss to face Flair and AJ Styles. So, not a whole lot of. I guess the timelines didn't match up with where they were in their promotions, because all throughout my youth, I remember Hogan was a WWF guy. He was the top there, and Flair was the top in NWA, WCW. And then they kind of switched promotions.
All right, so they never fought.
Yeah. It said they did one time televised and like another time as a tag team, but they were on TNA, which is probably, they're way past their prime, but there wasn't like any major. Damn, they seems like they missed the boat on that one. Because
Yeah, I
that's
don't
like the
remember
top
seeing
two.
that.
That's like the top two guys.
Yeah.
If you're doing a Mount Rushmore of wrestling, who are you putting on there?
Well, how far do you want to go back?
As far as you want to go back.
I mean, you got to have the Hulkster. You got to have Ric Flair.
For sure.
You got to have Andre the Giant.
Hell yeah. Andre the
gotta
Giant
have.
was massive, not just physically, but literally.
I know it's not from your time, but you got to have Dusty Rhodes.
So that's the Mount Rushmore then, because Mount Rushmore's 4.
Oh, sorry. I thought I was unlimited.
No, Mount Rushmore.
Yeah, it's true.
So we're leaving out The Rock. We're leaving out John Cena. We're leaving out Stone Cold, Steve Austin.
Now you're talking about an age thing, right? I'm sure there's people that would want to throw out Andre the Giant, Dusty Rhodes, and put The Rock and Steve.
Personally, if I had to take one of those guys out that you said, it's hard to take Andre the Giant out, because he was billed as, the 8th wonder of the world and undefeated, And I realized Dusty Rhodes' greatness too, but he would be the one that if I had to put one of those more modern guys, and I don't even know which one I would put, to be honest, if I were to take him out. I don't know.
Well,
Because
would you put The Rock or old Cold Stone Mountain?
I was more of a fan of Stone Cold, but his career was shorter overall.
How
Than The
long
Rock.
was that? Do you think that he was like the attraction?
Stone Cold?
Yeah.
Well, he had some injuries, that kind of cut him short, because a lot of these guys would stick around for a long time. I don't know, he had like a 5-year run there that was just, but it was also a run where it was him and The Rock at the same time
Yeah.
within the same promotion, where they were probably equally as popular, but it's hard to. Let's see, who else would you put up there if it wasn't those guys? Then you go into like real old fucking guys, like Bruno Sammartino and all those.
Yeah, I was gonna say, and even
Superstar Jimmy Graham and all those kind of guys.
Harley Race. Even some people say he's greater than Dusty Rhodes.
Right.
And that's of that time, that 70s stuff,
Yeah, well, when you hear those guys talk, the ones who wrestled in that era, they put that guy up there.
Exactly. So
even Flair.
Yeah, I mean, if you tried to do the Mount Rushmore by, let's say, 4 eras, maybe,
Oh, then it gets easier. Then it gets easier because you could do a 70s, an 80s, a 90s, and like a new. Like
I'm sorry. You know what AI says the Mount Rushmore of wrestling is?
What does it say?
Hulk Hogan, Stone Cold Steve Austin, The Rock, and The Undertaker.
But they're not even putting Ric Flair there?
Other frequently mentioned wrestlers are Ric Flair, Bruno Sammartino, and Andre the Giant. But the Mount Rushmore, according to AI, is Hulk Hogan, Stone Cold Steve Austin, The Rock, and The Undertaker.
I mean, those guys are great, but I don't see how you could. To me, it was Hulk Hogan and Ric Flair, and they had longevity, titles, different promotions. They had everything,
and they list a top 7, which is Hulk Hogan, Stone Cold Steve Austin, The Rock, The Undertaker, Ric Flair, Bruno Sammartino, and Andre the Giant.
But they don't like your Dusty Rhodes in there.
No, they don't.
And Dusty Rhodes was around a long time too.
Yes, but I guess Bruno Sammartino. I mean, the only reason I didn't say him is, again, it becomes an age thing, right? Because I didn't see him so much.
But he was the shit of his era.
Yeah, exactly.
My son is partly named Bruno because of Bruno Sammartino.
I didn't know it was specifically because of Bruno.
Well, it's not. I got the name from him and Frank Bruno, the boxer. You remember that guy?
Frank Bruno, yeah.
Champion. I believe he was champion. British. Fought Tyson twice.
Yeah, I think where Sammartino has it over Dusty Rhodes is actual championships.
And also more like undisputed in his era. Dusty Rhodes was in an era where Ric Flair was around, Hulk Hogan was around, countless other big, not just singles guy. The Freebirds were real big at the time. There was a lot of tag team action at the time with like the Road Warriors, Animal and Hawk, and a bunch of other guys. Bruno Sammartino was more of in a smaller era where there wasn't as many. There was other guys, but he was far and above, ahead of everybody else of that era. It was a simpler time.
He wasn't that big. He was 5'10".
Yeah, but they made him look big.
Yeah,
He
but he
was
was like 265 though at 5'10".
65
That's a
years
big.
old.
No, 265.
Oh yeah, yeah.
5'10".
He was fucking
That's
wide as shit.
Yeah, that's a big ass fucking guy.
Yeah. And dude, the Hulkster just started a wrestling. I don't want to say promotion because it was, I believe, from what I read, based on real wrestling, like collegiate and high school wrestling. But I think it was professional. He had just started that with a partner. I can't remember who the partner was. But I had read that a couple weeks ago that they had just started that. Did you ever visit his store?
The Hulk?
He had one like in was it Fort Myers or something like that? It was just like a store which was all Hulk Hogan merchandise. I don't know if it was in Orlando or I feel like I saw it in Fort Myers or something. Yeah, he had a store that was
I didn't.
all Hulk merchandise.
And Harley Race is not even on any of these lists. And growing up, that was another guy that I would always hear about.
But we're talking 70s here, right? He was still around in the 80s, obviously, but he was big like in the 70s. He fought.
No, I don't think Harley Race was in the 80s.
He might have been like at the end.
I always remember the Harley Race was, and Dusty Rhodes. That was like, those were the two that were going at it. And I think that's what, mid to late 70s.
He had a spat with Tony Clifton once.
What? Tony Clifton?
Who's Tony Clifton?
That's you.
But who's the real Tony Clifton? Who's the real guy?
The real guy?
Yeah. Who plays Tony Clifton?
Andy Kaufman.
You don't remember the Harley Race Andy Kaufman thing?
No, that wasn't Harley Race. That was the King. The King.
Oh, Jerry Lawler.
Jerry Lawler.
I'm confusing my kings because Harley Race was King Harley Race at one time too.
No, that was Jerry Lawler that threw him on David Letterman and broke his neck or something.
Yeah. All right, I fucked that up. My bad.
No, that's good though.
What years was he active?
Who? Harley Race?
They say he retired December 1990.
Wow.
Dude, because I remember seeing him in WWF, but he wasn't that great at that time already.
He was 6'1", 253. It's funny how they say build from Kansas City.
Yeah.
Yeah, his early career, 1959 to 1965. And yeah, they show him here in 63 to 1990.
Yeah, because this is when I remember him from 86 to 89. He joined the WWF and he won the 1986 King of the Ring tournament. And then they started, calling him King Harley Race.
Damn, that guy had to be pretty good to be going that deep into it, though.
Yeah, wrestling's such a... Did you ever get into that show that I told you about, The Dark Side of the Ring?
Yes. When I think I told you I saw the Iron Claw.
They had a Von Erichs
episode. Von Erichs, and then you told me about the Von Erich episode, and I started to watch it. And I saw the Von Erich one in that Dark Side of the Ring thing. And then I
Yeah.
started to watch. I selected the ones that I remember wrestlers that I watched. So yeah,
Yeah, they have some pretty good ones because they get pretty. It's literally like they talk about shit that they don't talk about
yeah,
on other shows. Shit that like WWE wouldn't put out that now owns almost everything, because they bought WCW at one time, ECW, all the shit. So they probably don't want to do documentaries about dirty shit.
yeah.
All right, so what's going on with football? We lost the corner already.
We've
Out for the
lost
year.
the blown out ass. Was Artie Burns also from the University of Miami?
That I don't know. I know he's a former Steeler.
Definitely. I think he was a Miami guy,
Let's
wasn't
look
he?
that up. Artie Burns sounds like a guy from the 70s, dude.
He does. Yeah, he was a UM guy
Look at that.
and a Northwestern senior high school.
2013 to 2015. First round pick
Yeah,
of the Steelers. Former Bear, former Seahawk, former Dolphin, probably.
yeah. That we'll never see that guy again.
4 interceptions. Cornerback's going to be a problem.
He did a Yatil Green on us.
Mm. What a bad draft choice that was, dude.
He's a good player, undoubtedly. Just badass luck.
But they knew already that the guy was sort of
Injury prone.
Yeah.
We excel at that. We always think we're the one that are going to break that trend. We exacerbate it.
Except when it's Drew Brees. And then we're like, nah, too risky.
The quarterback, yeah, he's got a hurt shoulder. I'd rather get a guy who has a hurt knee.
Give me the guy with the bum
Quarterbacks don't
knee.
need knees.
Even though this is a running quarterback, give me the one. Give me the one with a bad knee.
I mean, to be honest with you, man, I kind of go back to the days of Mad Dog, who said, I don't really pay much attention when they're still running around in their underwear. They don't even have pads on, dude. Okay, Tua threw a great 25-yard crossing route. Great.
I'm fired up.
What does that do for me?
Doesn't make my toes tingle.
I mean, yeah, I think what you look at camp is
Don't get hurt.
exactly the Artie Burns of the world. You don't want to hear any of that.
Yeah, which is exactly what happened to us.
Exactly. Then there's the former Dolphin player, Christian Wilkins.
We dodged a bullet there, dude.
Big time.
That was one of the
we may
few
pick him
moves.
up now. We may pick him up
Well,
now.
if you could get him cheap, reclamation project.
Jesus. So I was reading, like, they cut him because he wasn't really rehabbing and he didn't have a plan to return to the team. I don't know. What does that mean? Like he was on his own trying to fix his leg?
But the Raiders seem to have a lot of these sort of disconnects with their players.
It's almost like they're the Miami Dolphins of the West Coast.
Yeah. Wasn't the Antonio Brown thing something like that? Even though that guy's crazy as shit, so I don't.
Well, remember what that guy did when he moved over to them?
He froze his feet or some shit.
Yeah, like he went into this cryogenic chamber and his feet peeled off or something.
Yeah. And then there was the helmet thing.
Yeah, and then did he get into an altercation with the general manager who just a year before was on the NFL Network talking about draft picks?
Yeah,
Mike
Mayock. He called him a cracker, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think I ever saw that guy. Did that guy return to anything like broadcasting or analysis or anything?
I never heard from that guy again either that I recall. Let's see. What's Mike Mayock up to? What's this cracker up to? He started wearing a little beanie. Former professional football executive and player. Damn, I don't remember him as a player. Safety for the Giants. After a
Wow.
playing career, he was a draft analyst for NFL Network and a game analyst for NBC's coverage of Notre Dame football. He served as the general manager of the Las Vegas Raiders from 2019 to 2021. It doesn't say anything.
Oh, he was on Rich Eisen show in April of 2025.
Mayock has claimed he was fired in part for his belief that Rich Bisaccia should have been retained as head coach. So yeah, that was curtains for him. We didn't hear. I got some lists, dude. I'm trying to find. I had a couple.
We're gonna go
Lists.
through some lists.
I had an NFL list since we're on the NFL subject. Let me see if I can just Google them.
It was the top 25 games of the last 25 years. And this will probably be sad because there'll be a lot of our friends on them. But I want to see how many of these games you remember. While I look it up, do you remember any games that should be worthy?
Top 25 games of the last 25 years?
Which is basically this century.
The 25 best NFL games of the past 25 years.
Yeah,
Sports
it's an SI. Yeah, there you
go. Yeah.
I have it here. Let me see if I can figure out how to share this thing. It's been a minute, so.
I see the first one is definitely one that I thought about. The Vikings Colts overtime game, 39-36.
All right, Bum. Help me out. Do I have this thing on the screen?
Hold on. Yes, but it's not opened up all the way.
How do I do that? Let's see.
No, that's fine because then I guess you could still see me and I could still see you, right?
Okay. I can't see shit. I just have this on my screen.
Well, the way you're showing it now, I could see you, I could see me, and I could see what you're showing. So this is probably the best way of doing it.
All right.
This was a good game. It's probably one of the first ones I thought about, actually, because it's most recent.
Yes, and for those who don't have their eyeglasses on, this is December 17th, 2022. It feels more recent. Week 15.
It does.
Vikings 39, Colts 36, OT. This has to be one of the greatest collapses of all time, right?
Yes.
33 zip lead for the Colts. Was it 33 zip at the half?
Doesn't say half.
Because it says
the Vikings.
It says to their credit, they jumped to a 33-0 lead on Vikings team headed for the postseason. It was an embarrassing first half for Coach Kevin O'Connell's team, but cornerback Patrick Peterson told his teammates at halftime they needed just 5 touchdowns. So yeah, they were down 33 zip at the half, and they orchestrated the largest comeback in NFL history. That's terrible.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would guess that deserves to be on the list.
Yeah.
What else? Here we go with these fucking people. Patriots record-setting night, December 29, 2017, Week 17. Patriots 38, Giants 35.
There you go. Now I can see it. Which
Chasing
one
a
is
perfect.
this?
Well, this is kind of forgotten because this was
I don't
them,
remember
and
this.
I don't remember it. But I know why I don't remember it, because this is not what you remember when you think about the season. But
That season.
This has a lot to do with how that season ended up. Since the Patriots were chasing that perfect season, they kept in Brady and Moss, and they were setting records, and they still, had to fight to win the game. And obviously later they end up playing the Giants again in the Super Bowl, and the Giants get their revenge, which I think shows up on this list too. But you're right, I don't remember this game either. But
No, I don't remember
interesting.
that game.
They played them in the regular season finale, and then they end up playing them later in the playoffs in the Super Bowl and losing.
Thank God.
This game I remember too, even though it's 22 years ago. Week
You're
5,
not
Colts,
showing it yet.
Colts Buccaneers, 38-35 OT. This was that crazy comeback where the Colts were down 21 points with less than 5 minutes left in regulation. And John Madden
I remember
actually
this.
called
Yeah, I
it.
remember this.
Yeah, Madden called it after Manning threw a pick with 5 minutes left. And then this is obviously onside kick era and all that shit.
Yeah, and they won the Super Bowl that year.
That's probably a more impressive comeback than the 33 zip at halftime. Because these people had to do 21 points in 5 minutes. The other guys had to do 33 points in 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Obviously, point-wise, not the greatest comeback, but I think this is obviously more difficult. Oh, fuck. Look at this one. The Monday Night Miracle.
What a bunch of shit.
I remember watching this with some guys.
Yeah.
And I could not fucking believe it. But this was the Jay Fiedler fucking era. And the Jets, even they fucking threw one to fucking the lineman on us on this one.
Jimbo Fisher or something.
Jumbo Elliott.
Jumbo Elliott.
Yeah, Jimbo Fisher, I think, is a coach.
You're right.
Yeah. But I know where you're going with this. That would have been really embarrassing if they would have thrown it to Jimbo Fisher. But, dude, this game was so embarrassing, dude. They've got a coach on the field. They've thrown it to the coach, and he's a college coach. What is he doing here?
Oh, man, that's funny. Yeah.
Dude, this was just Fiedler.
No, and the strength of, and the strength of this team was the defense.
Was the defense.
And they fucking blew it out their ass.
To Vinny Testaverde.
5 touchdowns and 3 picks.
Yeah, I don't know what Fiedler's stats are, but he probably had like 3 picks too.
And there were pick sixes, right?
Yeah, some of them were. 23 consecutive points in the final quarter to tie. And then we took the lead, and they tied it on a pass to Jimbo Fisher, dude, of all people, in the final minute before winning it in overtime. This was like a signature moment of that era of Dolphin football.
Was that the end of this guy's run?
Fiedler?
Yeah.
Well, let's see. This was 2000. No, I feel like he was there.
No, because we went to the playoffs. We lost to the Ravens in like 2001.
But this should have been the end of his fucking run. They should have
Noticed at this point that like we need somebody else in there.
And we did get other people. We got AJ Touchy Feely and Cleo Lemon and John Beck. I could go on.
his Dolphins era was not long, 2000 to 2004. I didn't realize he went to the Jets and the Buccaneers after us. Fiedler. I don't think he did much.
Man, and I was sure that the guy that they brought in after this guy, it would have been the perfect story. You remember, right?
Greasy,
Yeah.
but they should have done that 5 years earlier.
Yes. By the way, he played more after he left us.
Greasy?
And he played well.
Where did he play after us?
Did he go to the Bears?
Maybe.
That sounds
Familiar.
He became one of those guys that was always in the highlight film, brought into games where they were being blown out, and he'd throw like 6 touchdowns and they'd still lose.
he went to
Because he-
Tampa, the Bears, and then Tampa again after
Yeah.
us. He was
I mean, his pinnacle was Denver, right? That's where he played the best.
yeah, he was 4-9 there, 7-3, 8-7, 8-5. He was 3-2 for us. He only played 5 games for us.
Exactly. And I think it was a playoff, right? No.
Let's see, where's the postseason numbers here?
Or do I confuse that to we were trying to get into the playoffs?
Regular season. Where's the playoffs? Just gotta have playoff stats. Playoffs. I don't remember Brian Greasy being in the playoffs.
Okay.
Now, why did he only start 5 games for us? Injuries?
I think so.
What year was Greasy?
His dad?
No. What year was he a Dolphin?
Well, it had to be after. It had to be after Fiedler, right? Like 2000. Yeah. Actually, no, right?
It was 2003.
Okay. But wait a minute. Oh, so he was a backup to Fiedler?
I guess.
Wow. And Fiedler only lasted 4 years?
5.
2000 to 2004?
Yeah. Jay Fiedler was 7-4 that season. Greasy was 3-2.
All right. I think we've given this as much attention as we should.
And they did not make the playoff. They did not make the playoffs.
So they won 10 games?
Yeah. That happened to us in that era too a lot.
Yeah, we were famous for that.
Yeah. Warner beats Rodgers in shootout. I don't remember this game, to be honest with you.
Well, that's the one. That is the one they went to the Super Bowl that year against Pittsburgh, right?
This is Rodgers' first playoff game.
Yeah, but I'm saying the Cardinals went to the Super Bowl that year, right?
I believe so.
Yeah.
You
This
remember
is
where we
the.
were?
You say Disney World.
Yeah, we were in Disney World.
Did we go see that like at a bar or something?
A
No,
restaurant.
we came back to my house.
To your hotel room?
I remember seeing that in my house.
Oh, so we
I
were not
think
at
I
Disney
drove.
World.
We drove. It was like one of those quick hitters. I think we did like a Friday, Saturday, a little bit in Sunday morning, and we drove back. You guys may have stayed. I don't know, but I
See,
do
that's why
remember coming back to my house.
It confuses me because you say we were at Disney World, but then you say I saw it at my house.
Yeah.
All right.
Supposedly, I don't know if it still stands. It's a record for the most combined points in a playoff game, 51-45.
Wow. I do
But I
remember this.
have no recollection of this game.
Because I remember this because I remember watching all of that. Well, all the critical games of Warner in that year that he was with the Cards and they went to that Super Bowl.
Do you think he's a deserving Hall of Famer?
No.
Yeah, me either.
Well, I'm going to say no, but I'd have to look at his stats just to be sure.
Do you think Terrell Davis is a deserving Hall of Famer?
Definitely had a lot of 1,000-yard seasons, but he didn't play long, right?
No. Those are the two that the two modern guys that kind of get me.
But are they respectively the Gale Sayers and Joe Namath of the modern time?
I get it. With Warner, he started older. But, dude,
Heck, Warner probably still has better stats than Namath.
But if you really look at Warner's career, it wasn't long in Los Angeles, St. Louis. Fucking Bolger took his job after a few seasons. He only won the one Super Bowl when they should have won at least two with that team. He was kind of a bum in the New York Giants. And then he just kind of came in and, did this season with the Cardinals. And it doesn't seem to me like a tremendous body of work. But I think he was like such a good guy, and he's an NFL Network guy. I think that shit goes a long way, dude.
Well, but again, if you're gonna have, I am almost sure that he has better stats than Joe Namath.
Yeah, different eras though. We got to compare him to his contemporaries. But you're right.
He has a Super Bowl win, and he's probably I know for sure he's got to have better stats than.
Well, he's one of the few to take two teams to the Super Bowl.
Two separate teams.
Two separate teams, yeah, two different teams. Actually, I don't even know who the others are. Brady.
Heck, and he's won them. Son of a bitch.
Here, I'll give you some numbers on Warner. He started at age 27. 124 games won, 116 lost. 32,000 career passing yards.
Yeah, he's got a 93.7 passer rating.
208 touchdowns, 128 interceptions.
65.5% completion rate.
There's Donovan McNabb has
better numbers than him, probably.
Let's look at Donovan McNabb real quick.
Yeah, his stats are, they're certainly better than Joe Namath's. He's got the Super Bowl win, but if you want to put it against your contemporaries, yeah, this guy shouldn't be.
Donovan McNabb, 98 games won, 62 lost, one tie, which he didn't believe that there could be a tie at the time. I remember that. 37,000 passing yards, 234 TDs, 117 picks. The completion percentage is lower, 59%. And the what's the rating? 85.6.
You know what? I bet you Donovan McNabb, and you know who's another contemporary of that time? Mark Brunell. I bet you they all have similar stats.
Yeah.
I think McNabb should be in.
He made a lot of fucking championship games.
All right. That's that one. Oh, here's next.
Number 20. Botched snap caps 49ers wild rally. Jan 5th, 2013 NFC wildcard game. 49ers 39, Giants 38. I don't remember this game. Do you remember this?
The botch snap sounds familiar. I know I watched it because I watched it, but it wasn't memorable for me to stick in my head.
Yeah, apparently there was something going on with the punter rolling to his right, throwing a pass to an offensive lineman who was ruled ineligible. And Matt
Was
Bryant.
it Jimbo Fisher?
No, man, maybe that would tie it all together here. Matt Bryant never got a shot to attempt the game-winning field goal because of a botched snap by long snapper Trey Junkin. But Allen had time to spike the ball to possibly get a second attempt. Horrific special teams day for the Giants, which
played a huge role in how the 49ers overcame a 24-point deficit in the second half. After a missed field goal by New York, Jeff Garcia produced a 9-play, 68-yard go-ahead touchdown drive to give San Francisco a 1-point lead in the final minute of regulation. Terrell Owens was sensational with 9 catches, 177 yards, and 2 touchdowns, including a 76-yarder for the game's first score. I don't really remember that one.
No.
19.
I remember
Manning.
this.
Yeah, Manning finally beats Brady. 2007 AFC Championship game. Colts 38, Patriots 34. Dude, he would crap himself a lot against Brady before this. And I think even after this, he was not really good against him.
No. They used to really play them physical, and even Marvin Harrison would really get manhandled.
And that's a big receiver.
Wait a minute. They won the AFC Championship? So is this the year they went against the Saints?
Or the Bears?
The Saints? No, the Bears was 2003, I think.
Okay. Brady was 11-6 over Manning, by the way.
Colts only went to 2 Super Bowls with Manning. This has to be the same one. Or maybe it was, or maybe that was the Bears one. Maybe you're right.
That was played down here where they defeated the Bears.
Yeah, okay.
So I think we went to a fan fest for this.
We did.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't know why I thought that was 2003. All right.
Dude, and this fucking Brady always had elite fucking kickers to fucking, just to fucking add it on to probably Hall of Fame kickers.
Oh, yeah. Adam Vinatieri for sure.
And is Gostkowski a Hall of Famer?
I don't think so, but he was very, very good.
Elite kickers
all the time.
Yeah.
Motherfucker. Okay, number 18. I believe we saw this one here. Mahomes to Hardman, game winner. Chiefs 25, Oh, this was the more recent one. Niners 22. This is when Hardman came back after being gone from the Chiefs. Remember this?
Yep.
Yeah.
That was at your house? I know we saw the COVID ass shake off at your house.
Yeah, which was also Chiefs Niners. I don't think this was at my house.
I think the first one was.
Yeah.
The 2019 or 2020?
Yeah.
The ass off?
Yeah. J-Lo and Shakira. Rodgers, Hail Mary, not enough. Number 17, Jan 16, 2016, NFC Divisional Round, Cardinals 26, Packers OT. That's the second matchup of these guys here on this list.
Yeah.
I don't remember this game either. But I know Rodgers has a lot of Hail Marys.
Yeah, he's good at that.
I do remember this one, 16, Miracle in the Meadowlands. This is a regular season game. Eagles 38, Giants 31. I only remember this because of the walk-off 65-yard Deshaun Jackson punt return.
Yeah, I remember that too.
He had done that.
I thought he had done that before, but yeah, I remember this.
And they made a pretty big comeback. They were down 31-10 on the back of 3 Michael Vick touchdowns in a span of 7 minutes. Number 15, Smith outduels Breeze. January 14, 2012, NFC Divisional Round, 49ers 36, Saints 32.
Alex Smith.
Yes, Jim Harbaugh time.
Yeah, and they ended up winning the Super Bowl that year against the Ravens, right? No, they lost the Super Bowl against the Ravens.
Correct, and the one that had the blackout.
Yeah.
I was at Milton's house for that. I don't know if you were there.
I know I saw it, but I don't remember. I can't remember the last time I saw a game at Milton's house. May have been a couple of Thanksgiving games.
Here's another
We
Brady
used to
one.
do Thanksgiving there.
Yeah, number 14, the home goes toe-to-toe with Brady.
Ugh. The famous thing there, that was the tit incident at halftime.
I do remember the tit. I didn't remember that it was this particular Super Bowl.
I believe
This was
so.
the Janet Jackson tit for tat.
This was a good game.
One that they won on a last-second fucking field goal by Vinatieri.
Yeah. Get the ball last 2 minutes left, a minute something, get in the field goal range. Oh my God.
Yeah.
How much of that shit did I have to endure, man?
They scored. Yeah, they scored what would have been the game. They scored a game-tying touchdown with a minute left, and that was enough time for them to do what they did. Sons of bitches. Mile High Miracle. Remember this one?
Yes.
2013, Ravens Bronco.
They had Manning as a quarterback then, right?
Yeah. First year. Not the year he threw like 59 touchdowns or whatever, but his first year there. And I think this is where Joe Flacco made like a shitload of money because he threw that bomb to Jacoby Jones.
Jacoby Jones.
Yeah. Did they end up winning the Super Bowl that year?
They won the Super Bowl. I thought it was a 2012 season, but in 2013 or I thought it was 2012 or 2013 that they beat the 49ers.
Maybe. Yes, because if I go up here and I look at that Niner playoff game. Oh no, that was January 2012 when they beat the Saints. At that time, the Niners, they went to a few NFC Championship games, and then later it was Kaepernick who went to the Super Bowl. So it was probably this 2013 year. Number 12, Patriots dynasty delays Chiefs dynasty. This was so painful, bro. January 20, 2019.
This is a bullshit offside call.
Offside call. I can't remember the guy's name for the Chiefs.
He's a great player.
Yeah, they should have fucking won.
Chris Jones.
I can't believe they don't name him here. Just another CAG in the fucking. Why am I doing this list, dude?
I'm going to go to bed and have nightmares.
D. Ford. That's the name of the guy that was offside.
D. Ford.
Yeah. Motherfuckers. Okay, well, this will cheer you up. Number 11, the helmet catch.
One of the greatest Super Bowls of all time.
What I don't remember, was this the undefeated Patriots or was this the other time?
Yeah, because this was for the 2007 season.
Mm-hmm. So was it the undefeated?
Yeah.
Okay, because they did this twice to them.
I'm pretty sure it was.
They got them with their own medicine.
Yeah, the bullshit.
Nice scramble by Manning on that play. And Plaxico Burress, before he shot himself, caught this touchdown. Yes, the Patriots were an undefeated juggernaut.
Yes.
And a 12.5-point favorite.
And that year we were 1-15.
Thank you for reminding me. Smith's walk-off in double OT thriller, Jan 10, 2004 NFC divisional round. Panthers 29, Rams 23.
I don't think I remember this.
I don't. This was the Mark Bolger era Rams. St. Louis Rams. I remember this game.
Yes.
Week 11, November 19, 2018. I believe this was like a Thursday night game or some shit like that.
Yeah.
And it was just fucking back and forth. This was like a heavyweight championship.
This has to be one of the highest scoring games of all time, though, right? Tyreek Hill had 10 catches for 215 yards and 2 touchdowns.
This is the only game in NFL history with both teams scoring at least 50 points.
Yeah.
I know. I mean, like we had like what was our score? Did we put up 60 on the Broncos?
Yeah, I thought we did.
But they didn't do much. So yeah, this probably has to be. Yeah, this has to be the highest scoring game in NFL history. 3 defensive touchdowns.
Actually, we put 70. It was 70-20.
Jesus. It's been all downhill since that game.
All for naught, as they say. We might be the only people that get depressed over a 70-20 win. That was a great game. I'd have to say that's one of the great games I've ever seen.
The 70-20.
No, the 54 or 51.
Yeah, that has to be one of the most exciting, just back and forth games. Number 8, Bostic can't catch the kick. Jan 18, 2015 NFC Championship game. Seahawks 28, Packers 22.
I remember this.
This was that era when the Seahawks were like the NFC Cagger version of the Patriots, but it didn't last as long, but they had a lot of lucky breaks, and this was one of them.
Yeah. And when two CAGs collide, you get a CAG-a-thon, which was the Super Bowl, the Patriots, and the Seahawks. That's got to be on here, right?
Yeah. And one of the worst calls in NFL history.
Yes.
Or the worst.
Number 7, the Minneapolis Miracle.
That was good. That was a good game. I remember that. Stephon Diggs.
But a lot of times when you see earlier in the playoffs a team that's not supposed to win do one of these CAGs, the next week they just lose.
Annihilated.
Yeah, and that's what happened.
They did that with fucking Case Keenum.
Yep, in the top 40 hits of the day.
That's one of those, every era and every great quarterback, except for Brady, has one of these games. This is like the Dolphins against San Diego when they were winning 21-0. I mean, come on. The Saints and Drew Brees were better.
Yeah.
Oh. This is, to me, the beginning of the Cagness.
Yeah.
This opened up the floodgates.
I remember seeing this live.
Yeah.
I remember seeing Brady's first start live. You know who it was against?
The Jets?
The Colts and Peyton Manning.
Oh.
And he fucking beat them.
This is kind of like the lab leak right here.
This is bullshit, dude. This is such bullshit. A rule that's no longer a rule.
I was gonna say, was this ever called again?
Well, supposedly, if you hear Belichick talk about it, he says that they were very familiar with the rule because it happened to them earlier in the season. And he's a big rule guy, breaking rules usually, but he knows the rules and how to break them. So he supposedly knew about this rule. It's just fucking stupid, dude. That one makes me sad. I'm going to go cry myself to sleep. Number 5, Holmes keeps both feet down. February 1, 2009, Super Bowl. Steelers 27, Cardinals 23.
I do remember this.
I remember this.
At the end, Santonio Holmes.
This was an era that I didn't really care about a lot of the teams in the Super Bowl.
What era is that?
This 2000s era. I
was just happy it wasn't the Patriots.
I guess. But I just ended up not liking any team in the Super Bowl during a lot of those times. I like this one, the Philly Special.
Oh, we saw this at your house.
Yeah. Feb 4, 2018.
And let me tell you, they did a lot of shit there to pull that one out of their ass. It was smelling like another cagaroni.
Well, fucking Brady threw for 500 yards.
And then they got cagged on.
If Brady makes that catch, that might be the difference. That one he dropped.
Yeah, good.
This was just beautiful, dude. This is like pure beauty. Combined 1,151 yards. Only one punt. Number 3, 13 seconds. Chiefs 42, Bills 36, OT.
I mean, I remember this game. It's a good game, but they changed the overtime rules after this, right?
Yeah. That's what's memorable about this game.
I mean, they didn't drastically change it.
They just made it so in the playoffs, both teams would be guaranteed a possession in overtime, even if the first drive resulted in a touchdown, which I think is a good change. Here's the fucking bullshit, dude. Butler's improbable interception.
Almost number 1.
This is Brady's greatest hits, basically. It gets worse. This is inexcusable.
So basically, they're saying that all great games in the last 25 years, most of them have featured the Patriots
in some sort of cag fest. Yeah. And it took like a cag fest for them not to win more.
Yes.
You know? It took like a helmet catch, like a crappy Giants team,
a Philly special.
Like a bum that never did anything else in his life other than that one game he threw 6 touchdowns in or some crazy shit, or 7. I don't remember what it was. Big dick Nick Foles. Okay, we know that one, and then we know this.
What's the first one?
Brady overcomes 28-3.
Oh, Jesus.
But dude, to me, if I were writing...
Did you check this list before?
I know. If I were writing the headline for the Super Bowl, it wouldn't be Brady overcomes 28-3. It would be Matty Ice shits his pants after leading 28-3. That's the real fucking headline. Mike Shanahan and Matty Ice shit themselves.
I would say something like Atlanta Falcons go without quarterback for a half and lose Super Bowl.
Because, yes, I understand Brady had to do it, but for Brady to do what he did, you have to have the other people do inexplicable things. Like, there was a study done that if they would have taken a knee every single down in the second half, they would have won the game. All you had to do was take a knee every down.
But who would do that?
Nobody would do that, but it just goes to show you how much of
they didn't have to do much.
How much of a fuck up you had to literally do to let these people do this. I mean, the whole Brady thing just kills me, dude.
You think the fact that they make so much money that they just don't care about a game like this?
The players?
Yeah. You think Matty Ice?
I bet you he has nightmares.
Yeah.
He has to have nightmares about this.
I would hope. And what a year he had that year.
I never liked that guy.
Could have been a Dolphin quarterback too.
What, we could have drafted him?
Yeah, we drafted the tackle from
Long?
Michigan. What was his name? Jake
Long?
Long.
Mhm.
Yeah. We had
That
the
didn't-
first pick in the draft.
That didn't last long.
He was okay.
Yeah, but injury prone.
Yeah.
Don't you? Isn't that funny how that goes?
What?
What year was that? Was that 2000?
7 or some shit?
No. Wow, we had the number one pick twice? No. I'm sorry, in 2007, when we went 1-15, we didn't have the number one pick, right? The Raiders did.
They were worse than us.
How could that be?
2008, Jake Long was the first overall pick.
What was our record?
What was our record in 2007?
Okay, we were 1-15.
Yeah. There you go. I guess we could have had anybody.
We still had Bill Parcells then?
Maybe. Because the other first round pick was the running back, right? Ronnie Brown?
That was like a number 2
Okay.
or number 4. What was that, like 2003 or 2004?
Remember the whole thing was him or Cadillac?
They
Williams.
both sucked.
Yeah. I would say
Actually,
Ronnie Brown sucked.
No, Ronnie Brown was better than Cadillac Williams. Not initially, though. Cadillac Williams started off better, but had a shorter career and Ronnie Brown ended better.
Yeah, the next picks were Chris Long, Matt Ryan, Darren McFadden, Glenn Dorsey, Vernon Golston. Jared Mayo was taken in that draft. Aqib Talib was taken in that draft. It was like a shitty draft, dude.
So the year before
Calais Campbell was drafted in that draft.
that is when we took Ted Ginn Jr.
And his family.
Yes.
Let's see. That would be the 2007 draft.
And that was like a number 7 pick. Wow. It's a hell of a night agenda you put together. We had to go through all the great Patriot wins and now the Dolphin horrific number 1 picks.
Ted Ginn Jr. was number 9. Picked later in that draft, Patrick Willis, Marshawn Lynch, Darrell Revis, Lawrence Timmons, who we got later.
We were screwed in that draft, though, because the number 1 pick was Jamarcus Russell, complete bust. The other pick that people wanted was the gay quarterback from Notre Dame, which sucked ass, too. What was that guy's name?
But Brady Quinn.
Brady Quinn.
He was drafted 22nd.
I know, but he was available to us, and he was a quarterback, and that was like a supposed great quarterback.
Megatron was the best guy in that draft.
Of course.
Yeah.
Joe Thomas, pretty good.
Where did Megatron go?
Number 2.
That team had a run of picking wide receivers number 1 every year for like 3 years or something.
Yeah, Mike Williams, Carlos Rogers.
They picked 2 Mike Williams, didn't they?
Possibly. Roy Williams was the other one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, the Mike Williams they picked was like oversized. That guy was almost like a tight end. And like he didn't play 1 year. out of USC because of some problem, so he had like a year off.
That's when they had Matt Millen running the show,
Yeah.
who I think has dementia now. Some would say he had dementia then, but
Yeah, well, the Lions wish the fucking diagnosis would have come sooner.
let me see. Is that guy still alive?
He's probably killed by some rabid Lions fan.
Wow, he's only 67, man.
I know one of the guys he drafted killed himself. Look up Carlos Rogers, Lions receiver. Troubled.
Yeah, I always got all those Lion receivers.
I mean, Harrington was a big pick for them too. They had a lot of like top picks that flopped. I remember you saying about that Harrington guy, I got to see this guy on one more team before I pass judgment. And then that team ended up being our team. We saw him somewhere else.
What?
Joey Harrington, people were always like, this guy's a bust. And you always said, I got to see that guy on another team before I label him as a bust.
And then we got him on our team.
And then we ended up being one of those other teams.
But you know what? I think he played the best for us. Funny enough, as soon as I pulled this out, so to speak,
Whoa.
Matt Millen, it came up to the Fire Millen chant returned in force on Ford Field during the second half of the 2006 Thanksgiving game between Detroit and the Miami Dolphins. When former Lions quarterback, first-round pick Joey Heatherton, often a scapegoat for Lions problems, led the Dolphins to a 27-10 victory over the Lions.
It's probably one of the few games he won for us.
Probably. But he did play a lot better for us than he did. That's not saying much, though.
Yeah, that team was a disaster, dude. Joey Harrington. Where else did that guy play?
Joey Heatherton?
Lions, Dolphins, Falcons, Saints. How many games would you say that guy started for us?
I have no idea.
11
10?
games.
I said 10.
What record?
Don't know either.
5-6.
That may have been like his best record ever.
It was.
I was joking.
It was. It definitely was. All right. What's up with the Epstein files and why haven't you released them?
Hey, you know what I saw that I have never seen? And I saw it on the nightly news today. You've probably seen it.
What's that?
It was a video deposition of Epstein.
The one where they say he has an egg-shaped penis?
No.
Oh, sorry.
Well, it may have. This one specifically, the part I saw is where they asked him specifically, did you have a relationship? And this is like before Trump was president, I believe. Did you have a relationship with Donald Trump? And he said yes. And then they asked him, were there any girls, women that were under 18 years old ever with you and Trump? And then he pleaded the Fifth Amendment, the Sixth Amendment, and the 14th Amendment.
I don't know what those other ones are.
Like, normally you plead the Fifth. He pleaded like 3 other amendments. You ever seen that?
No.
I mean, the video that I'm talking about?
No.
I never knew that.
Can you hear what I'm playing right now by any chance?
Is it true, sir, that
Very low.
you have what's been described as an egg-shaped penis? Your penis is oval-shaped and claim when erect it was thick towards the bottom but was thin and small towards the head portion and called it egg-shaped. Those are not my words, I apologize. But as Mr. Critton has stated, that this is a... I'm willing to continue. Could you please give us your name?
Jeffrey Epstein.
He walked out after they said his pee-pee looked like an egg.
True, sir, that
What's up with these
You have
rich
what
guys
described
and
as
weird-ass shaped dicks?
penis, your penis
They
is
say that could have
oval-shaped
something to do with their.
and claim when erect it was
Fetishes.
thick towards the bottom but was thin and small towards the head portion and called it egg-shaped. Those are not my words, I apologize. But as Mr. Critton has stated, that this is a... I'm willing to continue.
I remember that one.
No, I think I seen that one.
Remo, what up, dog?
I saw it, bum. What's happening?
So they were playing that on network news.
Yeah. That's pretty damning.
Well,
Where has that been?
I mean,
They definitely knew each other. There's pictures of them out
Well,
there.
there's no doubt about that. In fact, he says that he got rid of him because he was being a creep. I don't really know what that means, but
there's that interview of Trump long time ago at some function where Epstein was at, and they asked him about him, and he's like, he's a fun guy, and he always has girls with him, and a lot of times on the younger side or something like that. You ever seen that one?
I think so.
There's that one that's out there.
the Trumpster.
Did you see the South Park thing? Oh, wait a second. Flashback. Go back in time. The Hulkster. You asked me, and you never brought it up in the show. You asked me before the show if I ever saw his last interview. And I said I did.
Yeah, there's his last interview was, I guess, on Fox. And I ran into a link of it, and I guess people were concerned about the way that he looked. One thing that he had was he had his beard was actually colored black, so it looked like his face was dirty.
Mm-hmm.
But his hair and his mustache was white, so he looked weird in that respect. I didn't think he looked particularly unhealthy or anything, but everybody was, commenting, "Oh, I hope he's doing well. He looks bad," and all this. Aside from the mismatched beard mustache combination, and his face did look dirty because of it. I mean, I didn't really.
He would do that in his like NWO days where he would have the beard, like the stubble black, and he still had the blonde hair and stash.
Yeah, but I mean, other than that, but a lot of people looked at him, saw him in that last interview, and were concerned with him.
But
I didn't think it was.
That's a lot of roids, dude, too.
Yeah,
For
which he admitted to.
Yeah. I mean, when he came out there for Trump, he probably did a cycle, to look good. That's not a normal physique for a 60-year-old dude.
Yeah, 60. You mean 70?
Yeah. Did you see the South Park thing?
I saw clips of it, but I didn't see the whole episode.
Did you see the deep fake they did of him?
Yeah, and his underwear, and they say that I didn't see. They alluded to that in the full episode. He's fully nude.
Yeah, his little pecker comes out and it has like little eyes on it. They call it
Yeah.
a micro penis.
And I also was reading that they made sure that they worked out their contracts. Like they negotiated like all their contracts before they released that, and they had like all these ironclad legal documents about what they could present, and like they prepared for it because supposedly they weren't really hammering him as much
Yeah,
until now.
it was delayed a lot of times, the episode from coming out. And it did look almost like it was weird in a sense to me. I don't know. I'm not a huge South Park guy, but I see it, here and there. They always have the people animated, but for Trump, it was like pictures of him instead of like a drawn caricature.
Right. Well, it was a
Almost like
combination. It was like there were some where they put like a picture head on him,
right.
but his body looked real. And then there was the one with the deep fake that was all supposedly, lifelike.
Yeah, the deep fake was like they got sued by him and they had to agree to do a PSA for him, and that was their PSA, that he'd be willing to do anything, walk through the desert, and then like he ends up naked. It's I can't believe that he won't sue them. I can't believe it.
Yeah, I mean, but they did. I mean, they have him cuddling up to Satan, and
Yeah, when I used to watch it, Satan's like a recurring character. When I used to watch it back in the day, Saddam Hussein was Satan's lover.
yes,
Yeah. And now they make fun of the Epstein files too. Like Satan's like pissed off, like, are you in them or not? Because he like doesn't want to have sex because he thinks he's in the Epstein files and he won't tell them about him.
So going back to the files, what would you say your synopsis is of that? Like, what is your best guess about that?
Dude, I would think that there's so many people implicated and so many ramifications that they can't release. And that's why they haven't released any of that shit. And that chick's going to rot in jail. And they're not going to let her story get out. And
They interviewed her today.
Oh, really? Did she say anything?
She answered over 100 questions.
But who interviewed her?
The guy that used to be Trump's personal lawyer, who's now one of the Department of Justice lawyers.
Not on television, right?
No.
Okay.
So the concern from the left is that Trump is going to coerce her to say that he is not on the list, or that no, prominent Republican is on the list, and he's going to pardon her.
And then she'll end up dead somewhere.
Yeah. Well, obviously he doesn't say the dead part, but
Right.
that she'll come out, say, you know what? The list is comprised of Biden, Obama, Clinton, Nancy Pelosi. Trump's not on it, no other Republican. Oh, and by the way, I'm pardoned.
That wouldn't be shocking.
Here's the thing about that, right? That leads to something that I think, right? So have you noticed that now everybody wants that out, especially the Democrats, and they were sitting on it for like 4 years.
Why didn't they do it?
Exactly. And if you knew that your opponent or your enemies were on there, why wouldn't you release it and just release the part where they're on it?
Because if you lose, they'll go back.
You lose what?
The election, which they did.
But even now, what election is there now?
Well, then you sully your name. But maybe they don't care about his name if he's on it. Biden.
Oh, definitely not. They're not going back to that well.
Yeah.
I think I find that super odd, right? If that list was, if they have the list and they've looked at it and it's all prominent Democrats, why wouldn't they release it? Why wouldn't Trump release it? And vice versa. If there's a ton of Republicans on there, why wouldn't the Democrats release it?
Because they're
They
both
could,
on there.
but they could exclude whatever they want.
Well, then it'll become a war. Like, I have these documents that say you are on it. You don't think like they copied all that shit and they have it somewhere?
I
Like,
don't know.
you don't think
I don't know.
everybody probably has that.
So you know what they say, the reason that they don't release that by either side is that there's too many mention of people who did nothing wrong, but the mere fact that they're mentioned in there would dishonor them.
But we already know the names that surround this guy. Dershowitz, Gates, the scientist, Hawking, Clinton, not Bush, fucking Trump. Like, we know a ton of names that are associates of his. What is exactly the Epstein list? The list of people who fucked underage women?
Well, that's the thing, right? I think that's the concern. The list implies what? Well, for a lot of people, it implies this is the list of raging pedophiles. Or is it
pedophiles.
Or is it a guest book of people that he associated with throughout his life? And it covers so many different people that how do you decouple the pedophile list from people who just knew him?
You have to do 50,000 trials to prove that shit. Because we already know the list, right, of associates. It's everybody who was on those travel logs to the island. It's everybody who met.
There's probably more.
There was some lady who came out and said she had a very unnerving interaction with Trump at Epstein's New York office, which I don't know if it was the house that he got gifted from that Wexner guy, which was the Victoria's Secret guy, and that Trump went there and he was looking at her, and then Epstein came in and said, "Oh, she's not here for you," and then that Trump commented that she looked rather young or something. Did you hear that one?
No.
Yeah, that one's out there.
I just find it interesting that you've had this dynamic where the files lived with a previous political party. They did not release them. The political party that supposedly was going to release everything is in power now and is not releasing anything. And the political party that isn't in power anymore, that had the files before, wants them released now.
Wouldn't that imply that the people in power at that time were also going to be implicated, and that's why they didn't release it? And then the people who have power now are on the list, and they don't want to release it because they're implicated. But the people or the party that was in power before perhaps doesn't care about the people specifically in their party that are going to be implicated. So that's why they want it released now. Do you get do you follow me?
Yeah, that's what I was trying to get from you. Like, follow that bouncing ball. Is that what makes this make sense?
I mean, I would subscribe to that. It seems plausible. Because, yeah, absolutely. Why didn't you? Maybe because your president was on the list. Has he ever been implicated on that list, by the way?
I don't remember him being implicated on that.
Yeah, I remember Clinton.
Definitely. And I think maybe Obama.
I don't remember Obama. But. And Dershowitz says he knows who's on the list.
And besides, isn't whoever is in power at the time and has access to these files could release whatever they want of them, or even doctor some, and who would be able to counter it?
Who the fuck knows, dude?
Exactly.
We'll probably never know.
I would expect more of that.
More of what?
Yeah, that we won't know.
Yeah.
Now, I'll tell you what, though. If that Maxwell chick comes out and says there's nothing on that list, or there's everything but Trump, and then she gets a pardon, man, that is super suspicious.
Smoking gun. I'm trying to see if I have anything else here, bum. You got anything else?
I think we covered all the highlights, or is that the lowlights?
We definitely did some of those.
Well, we talked about the Patriots.
God damn it. And Calais Campbell is a Cardinal now.
Again.
Right?
Oh, yeah. Did you want to mention anything about Jaws 50?
Oh, yeah. So it's the 50th anniversary. They are releasing it in theaters. My son went to see the latest Jurassic Park movie, and they had like a preview for it. So I think we're going to try to go watch that. I think you said to let you know.
Yeah, let me know.
If we go. Where do you rank that movie? All time.
Before I answer that, do I remember clearly that guy Mark, the film expert, had it as number one?
Mark Esper, he was very pissed that it didn't win number one. I think Casablanca ended up winning number one when we had the March Madness bracket movie thon type of thing.
I think it did. Which he said, hey, that's a very good movie, but I think he expected Jaws to win.
Yeah. Those are two of my favorite movies.
Casablanca and Jaws?
Yeah, I think like if you're gonna have one black and white movie, that's the one in your repertoire. Have you ever seen that with the kids and stuff?
Which one?
Casablanca?
Casablanca, definitely not. Jaws, I certainly have.
Do they like that?
I think probably Nick more than Sarah appreciates Jaws still. I think Sarah just sees it as, like that's old. It looks fake.
Yeah.
Doesn't get it. She probably liked it more as a younger kid than now.
Yeah, the beauty of it is like in the tension that they build throughout the movie. What was an improvisation, but ends up being
because
great.
Of a broken shark, right?
Yeah, which ends up being great, which is the view from the shark.
The music score.
Yeah, John Williams.
Really,
right?
really elevated that and made that work even more. I mean, let's face it, right? It's the first blockbuster, really. Summer blockbuster. The first kind of merchandise movie.
Oh, dude, and this year they're huge on merchandise with Jaws. They're doing a lot of shit.
But going back to your original question, like when I think of, like, is it in my top 10? I would probably certainly say so. It wouldn't be in my top 5.
Well, let's do the top 5.
I was afraid you'd say that.
I can go first. If you
I
want.
could think,
Or we could go tit for tat.
and is your thinking like, if you can only take X amount of movies to an island, and these are the only movies, you don't have cable TV, you don't have satellite, your phone doesn't work, you have these CDs, and you can only play these movies for the rest of your life over and over again. That's what we're talking about, right?
Rewatchability.
Rewatchability. These are the greatest movies. They cover every aspect of a great movie. You got to be able to watch them. You got to be able to, this is it. These are the movies you're going to take with you, right?
I definitely give that a lot of importance.
Yeah. Because Jaws is a movie that if I see on TV, I will stop to watch it.
Yeah.
There's not too many movies that I'll do that with.
All right. Am I going first or you?
Go ahead.
Or we're going tit for tat.
Go ahead.
What are we doing? Top 5?
Do top 5.
Top 5. Okay,
I'll put Pulp Fiction up there.
I'll put The Matrix up there. I gotta put one Star Wars movie up there, one of the original trilogy. It's Empire Strikes Back. Then I'm gonna probably have to. I gotta put a Western in there. I would be torn between Tombstone and Good, Bad, and the Ugly. I would probably lean towards Tombstone so I can get a Western in there. So I got a couple sci-fis, I got a Western, and then
I'll go that far for now.
I'll let you go. I've given you 4.
I'll come back with my 5th.
So for space sci-fi, I'd probably do the original Star Wars. These are in no particular order.
Yeah, mine weren't either. So A New Hope you would put.
Yeah, I'd put A New Hope. For my crime drama, I'd put the Godfather 2.
Oh, yeah. See, I forgot The Godfather.
For kind of drama type thing, I'm torn between.
Don't say Manchester by the Sea, bro.
I'm torn between like The Shawshank Redemption and There Will Be Blood.
There Will Be
One
Blood.
One of those two movies I'd probably want to have with me. I'll probably bring Shawshank Redemption because it's probably a little bit more uplifting.
No Gladiator?
We're not talking just about 2000. For Western, I'm torn between Tombstone and Unforgiven. I'll say Tombstone.
Unforgiven's excellent.
And then I guess for a period drama, I may do Gladiator.
If you told me 10, it'd be easier for me because then I could throw Jaws in there.
Yeah.
Then
this is harder.
Then Godfather would probably be above Jaws for me. Then I could. I don't have an action. What movie I love? Nobody agrees with me on this one.
I love Mad Max Fury Road, dude. I don't know about top 10, but I really for action. What's your what's your like top action movie? That
Give
one's
me
hard.
some. Yeah.
Well, that's one. That all the ones. There's like Schwarzenegger ones. There's
Oh, yeah. Well, see, that falls into kind of sci-fi too.
Some of them,
Terminator 2 is
yeah,
awesome.
yeah. There you go. That's another one.
there's Rocky 2, not Rocky 2, but also Rocky. I like Godfather 1 though, too. Godfather 1.
Yeah, but if I can only pick one, I think the good thing about Godfather 2 it's that it's a sequel and a prequel in
It's
the
like
same
two
movie.
It's like two movies
Exactly.
almost.
Yeah.
So I'm getting a lot of, bang for my buck there.
If I stretched it to 10, I'd have to put Casablanca in there. I really.
Yeah, but it's not 10, it's 5, buddy.
No, I know the five. Yeah, the fifth one for me would be Godfather, for sure.
There's a lot of good shit, dude. There's a lot of good shit out there.
I know you like Apocalypse Now also.
I do.
See, that's another one. You have to put like if there's no you might want to have a war movie in there.
Well, yeah, if you went by genre, that's what I tried to do initially. I did, sci-fi, crime, western, drama, and period movie.
And then you might want a comedy in there.
Yeah.
To lighten things up.
If you wanted to extend it to cover every genre, yeah.
See, I don't know what I would do for that one. I might do Friday, or I might do one of the Austin Powers. Happy Gilmore just came out. I might check that out. It's on Netflix.
I do like me Austin Powers.
Yeah. They don't make those kind of movies anymore.
Well, they came out with the Naked Gun.
Did that come out already?
I think it comes out August 1st. Yeah, so Jaws didn't make your top 5.
I love that movie, but I don't think it would crack. It'd be right outside.
Yeah, if you did 10, it'd probably sneak in.
If I did 10, I think it would be there.
Yeah.
Because I don't have anything that would be kind of suspenseful in mind. I think The Exorcist is a fucking great movie too.
Well, and that's another genre I didn't cover here, the horror.
Yeah, I had a list for that, but I'm not going to get into it.
For horror, I think I'd probably do, The Thing. The Exorcist is very good. The
I still have never seen The Thing.
Halloween is great.
Yeah. Both The Thing and Halloween are John Carpenter movies.
And Texas Chainsaw Massacre is a great movie too, but I wouldn't have it in my.
No.
But I can appreciate what they did there.
You know what's
You still have you have a CD player? I'm sorry, a DVD player?
Oh yeah. Yeah, I got a bunch of DVDs too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We saw a DVD the other day with the kids. And I didn't think they'd be into it, but they really enjoyed it too. 12 Monkeys. We saw that.
Yeah, you told me about that.
That's a great movie.
Yeah, it's a good movie.
The whole fucking time travel shit really gets to me. That one's interesting because it creates There's a lot of shit going on in that movie. One, it creates the doubt whether Bruce Willis's character, I think it's James Cole, is insane or not, whether he's really a time traveler or he just thinks he is. And then if you decide he really is a time traveler, and then he's sort of like living an ever continuing loop in his life. He's a kid, spoiler, a kid that sees himself get shot in the airport, but then when he grows up, he goes back in time and he goes to the airport and he sees himself get shot again, and he's just always sort of living that loop all the time, which is,
That movie's a little depressing, though.
well, yeah, it's what do they call those, dystopian? I like those movies.
Yeah.
Though. I really like. There's a few good ones in that genre, like Children of No Men or something like that. What's that called?
I know which one you mean. The one where they can't have kids.
Right, where nobody, like the last kid is like 21 years old from Argentina or some shit.
Yeah.
There's 12 Monkeys is one. The Matrix is one. Actually.
Yeah.
I Am Legend is one.
I feel like The Matrix only. I mean, I watched all of them. They were pretty good at the time, but really only the first one sticks out as something that I would, you know.
Yeah, they
Kind of went.
One.
Yeah, two was they went downhill. Two was pretty good, but yeah, it was not. The first one was the one that was sort of mind blowing because of the idea and the technology and the fight sequences and all that.
I Am Legend is also pretty good. Also, that sort of falls a little bit into the zombie world.
Yeah. The Mad Max ones are in the same genre too.
Yeah. That's actually, those are more, I guess they would call those post-apocalyptic.
Post-apocalyptic, yeah.
Yeah.
Which dystopian just means society went downhill, but I guess they could be intertwined depending on.
Yeah. What is the difference between post-apocalyptic and dystopian? I guess dystopian is more usually when like Big Brother taking over and controlling things versus like some event, some calamity, a nuclear war, or some environmental crisis or something.
Right. Post-apocalyptic is more like
We almost got wiped out by something, and then
it's like anarchy. Dystopian, there's still some form of government, but shit's
fucked up. Yeah.
There was an interesting one starring I believe Timberlake, which had to do with time. I don't know if you ever saw that one.
I did.
Yeah, you
I
didn't
actually
like that
saw
one?
them. I saw it at the movies.
I thought that was an interesting idea. Where like
It was okay.
Poor people didn't have a lot of time, and like if their time ran out, they died, and they had to, like, rich people had like a lot of time on their meter.
Kind of reminds me of Logan's Run. You ever saw that?
Nope.
That's a classic. Basically, everybody dies when they're 32.
Oh,
they
wow.
have this gem in the palm of their hand, and it turns colors as you age. And I think when it turns ruby red, that means you have to go to this thing called the carousel, and it's a laser that shoots out and kills you or whatever. But it's a post-apocalyptic world where this is occurring, and these two characters try to escape that, and it's a whole big thing. You know, it's another.
Is Planet of the Apes one?
That's post-apocalyptic, yeah. George Lucas made one with TH-138 or something like that. That's sort of dystopian, post-apocalyptic type thing.
Yeah.
I think that was his first movie ever. It's with Robert Duvall, and it's filmed in like these people living underground because everything's gotten ruined and stuff. Yeah, there's a lot of those.
Yeah, one of
Pretty
those
depressing.
stories. One of those stories will come true.
Yes,
I'm sure.
28 weeks for a zombie movie is pretty good, or 28 days, whatever it is.
I think
With
there's like
Cillian Murphy, it's pretty good.
I think there's some sort of sequel coming out to that or something.
Yeah, there is. 28 years.
Yeah, I never got that much into the zombie genre.
Only a few of them when it's done right.
A lot of those
You know.
That I've seen too
end up being kind of funny. I don't know if on purpose or
not.
Well, Shaun of the Dead definitely was funny.
yeah. Zombieland was another one that was funny.
Yeah.
And there was one that I've never seen that I saw the trailer for, and it looked really funny because I really like this guy, which had Bill Murray in it and Adam Driver.
Because Bill Murray was in Zombieland.
Is that it wasn't Zombieland the one with Woody Harrelson?
Yeah, but Bill Murray's in it too, I think.
Okay. I don't remember that. But I know there's one
As
with,
Bill Murray, I think.
oh, okay. No, this one I think they're like cops, him and Adam Driver. And it looked funny, but I never saw it. Let me look that up real quick.
Adam Driver,
Yeah. Kylo Ren.
the lame Kylo Ren.
The dead don't die. I think I lost the bum. All right. Well, we were getting ready to go anyways. All right, guys. I'm not going to wait for the bum. Thanks for watching. We'll see you all next time.